Hi, I'm Anton Dworzak, fan of the Decisive Group. Thank you very much for taking the time to go through this walkthrough video of SafeBUDDY. Now, SafeBUDDY is a full-featured cash management solution for clubs and other hospitality venues. SafeBUDDY tracks the floats, cash, vouchers and banking that run through your main safe. There are many benefits why you would use SafeBUDDY, and we'll cover that in the first part of this video. These include key performance indicator graphs, analysis of staff shortages, as well as reconciliation of your revenues, and of course accounting exports. To see the full return on investment with SafeBUDDY, download the white paper, and the links can be found in the comments below. The second part of the video will cover through how we actually enter information using real-life situation. And in the final section, we'll show you what support mechanisms we have with SafeBUDDY. Once again, thank you for taking the time to watch the video.
Okay, welcome to our walkthrough tour of SafeBUDDY. Now, before we focus on entering information into SafeBUDDY, let's look at the reasons and features why you would be interested in getting SafeBUDDY. Let's focus on our banking records first. You can see that we have our banking records. We've already filtered them for May 2015. Ideally, you can hold up over 2 years worth of data, and this will be for your performance graphs, and which we will undertake now. Okay, so we open up the performance graphs, and the performance graphs will compare it to the previous month compared to the previous year. Now, this is the clearance here, and you can see that the height is the actual total clearance, and this is broken up of the electronic tickets, or TITO, and the yellow is the manual payouts, and the remainder is the net. Now, this compares to the orange graph is the previous month's clearance, and the grey graph is last year's clearance. So this gives you the bar graph is by day of the month. Now, if you actually have a look by day of the week, this is the breakup down here. You can see that Monday's contributed 56k, the average daily clearance for this period, compared to last month of 46. Now, because it's an increase, you'll see a green tick. If it's fairly stable, you'll see an asterisk. If there's a red X, that means there's been a decrease. Now, how does each day contribute to the week? You have your percentage breakup here in the pie chart. Now, this is similarly reported over here in the average daily net, and the net to clearance, we will be looking at integrating net to turnover. Some venues prefer net to turnover, but the net to clearance is obviously skewed by the amount of TITO tickets involved in there. But it can give you a bit of insight into your gaming play on particular days. Now, if you actually wanted to change the months, these are dynamic graphs, so you can change the period, and you can see that the graphs are actually changing as we speak. And you can actually select the year there, and also the period if you want to have a look on a quarterly basis and do the comparisons on a quarterly basis. Okay, the layout for the remainder graphs. Now, you can actually change the layout how you want them presented by simply selecting on the different pages what you require. And you can see that these are changing as we proceed. Now, these graphs can be printed to a PDF, and it'll just generate a A4 PDF page, and that way you can send them electronically through email or have them for inclusion in your board reports. So they're great reports for your managers and for directors. The Analyze Staff Variances module is a useful tool to enable you to drill down into the staff shortages. Now, typically this is done on a monthly basis. Now, the result is it will present its findings in a series of graphs. Now, the graphs will include the actual shortages as well as the accuracy and number of occurrences. It will present it by staff members, by the actual float variances, as well as the time of day. This tool enables you to identify whether more staff training is required, or perhaps maybe staffing levels are not matched appropriately to the demand. Now, the other features of SafeBUDDY is, of course, the export for your inclusion into your accounting software program. However, one thing you need to make sure of is when you're reconciling your accounts, you want to make sure that what's been entered into SafeBUDDY, what you're going to upload into the accounting system, is actually correct. So this is where this module comes in hand, banking reconciliation. So you would normally enter in your original source data, just the name of it, and the actual correct amounts, what should have been banked. And you can see when we enter it in, they'll actually work out what the variance is. Now you continue this down for all the remainder of the banking reports. And if the variances are immaterial, would normally just run the export through here, and this will create an end of month journal adjusting entry to correct the banking figures to what they should have been. The variance will actually be allocated to under overbank. You could change that to staff shortages if you require. Now where this is handy is where a common fault does happen in some venues is they mix up Keno and the TAB. Now in this instance, while those two journal entries will wipe each other out, it is a material difference, so your performance graphs will be inaccurate. So you are better off actually going to the day that the error happened, and you can enter that in and then bank it for that day. So you can go back in history and bank past histories, and then we have a separate video on that, and that way your performance graphs will be accurate. Okay, now that we have reconciled what the monthly banking should be, now we will create the export file. Now the procedure is as simple as selecting the dates and clicking on the export icon. Now this is live, so we actually see the speed that SafeBUDDY will create the journal export file. Now even though there will be 31 separate journal entries, they will all be contained in the one file ready for import. Okay, now that we have created the export file, now we import it into our accounting package. Here we are demonstrating importing the SafeBUDDY journal file into MYOB. One of the other benefits of SafeBUDDY is the ability to troubleshoot transactions, whether it's from the SafeBalance records or from the activity log. With the activity log, you can filter details and identify when these safe balances had occurred. You would then review the transactions between those safe balances for any discrepancies that you are investigating, such as in monies, banking, or other details. End of month cash flow analysis is made easier when you're looking for variance thanks to the gaming records stored in SafeBUDDY. This will report the variations on a daily basis between monies entered into SafeBUDDY and the data from your gaming system. Undertaking the gaming clearance in SafeBUDDY is an easy process. Just a simple measure of entering in the monies and also the cashless or TITO tickets. In addition, it's recommended to enter in the comparison records from your gaming system as well. This will show that we actually do have some variances there, so when you're coming to the end of the month, if you actually are looking for say $100, at least you'll know when that happened, so what particular day that happened, by going back through those records. We'll now introduce you to the status screen. Now the status screen is the main screen that should be open at all times, and it's the main screen where most transactions will take place from. Now, the first half of the status screen is the floats, and I'll give you a condition of what the float name is, whether it's been refloated, reconciled or issued, who the last person involved with that till is, and the current amount of money sitting in that float. Here we have $400. Now the rest of it is what the makeup of the safe is. This is the cash that should be in the safe according to SafeBUDDY. This is our gaming clearances in here, and our other banking is contained within here, as well as any vouchers that have been utilized, and a reconciliation formula is shown through here, and you can see at the moment we actually there's a variance of $30.56, and that's already been allocated to different staff as well. Interestingly, we have our under and overbank here. Now SafeBUDDY is unique in the way that it tracks our underbanks and overbanks, and it makes things a lot easier compared to relying on paper-based sheets. Okay, so let's have a look how we utilize a bar tills. Select the bar till, select copy the floats. Straight away it will know that this float needs to be issued. Who are we going to issue that till to? Simon. Select copy staff member 1, comes across here, and we just process. Very quick and easy process. Okay, we now see bar till 4 has been issued. Simon Kane, $400. If we need to do a float increase, we select copy floats, and SafeBUDDY knows that it's going to be a float increase. So how much are we going to increase it by? $200. And we notice the new float amount is $600. Float decreases on this side. And increase, we need to record who's actually going to be collecting the money, and it's again Simon Kane, and process away. You can see that SafeBUDDY creates a paper trail of who receives money, and they should be signing off on that float increase sheet that is issued. Okay, bar till 4, issued Simon Kane. We want to reconcile that float. Click reconcile. Comes up, says float reconciliation. It even has a little red warning to tell you that that float will now be closed off. Now the different banking avenues, any vouchers that are used are in this section here. Any banking areas are shown in this section here. Now you must either enter a number, even if it is 0. Otherwise, SafeBUDDY will not process and ask you to enter information in. Okay, cash that's coming into the main safe. So it's always cash that's coming into the safe. Process away. Who counted it? Now if it again was Simon, check his own till, correct, and process. Now we have set up with the new variances warnings here, and the variances of $4. It is outside the parameters. We must leave a comment. And let's process away. Do you wish to refloat? Ask you automatically. In this case, we'll just say no. Now that the bar sales are shown in this area here. Okay, daily. Let's do safe balance. Safe balance, whoever's counting the till, needs to be recorded. Now, if there's any checks, you must enter information there. SafeBUDDY, this is to make sure that the checks are present. Okay, currently we have staff variances of $23.62. Now, the actual floats out by $3.72, so there's new variance of $19.90. And part of it is you can see the variances here. Obviously some change had happened there. We have $27.90 extra in the 5-cent pieces. Once again, variances outside parameters, so comments must be left. That's how easy it is to do safe balances with SafeBUDDY, and we always recommend to do more safe balances as possible. That way it makes it easier when you're looking for records in the activity log. Okay, let's do our daily banking. SafeBUDDY will ask, have you got any checks to be banked? In this occasion, let's say no. There is a separate video on how to process checks. Is it for yesterday's day of trade? Yes, it is. Okay, so daily banking, all we need to assign is to say who is actually banking the amount of money, and you do need 2 signatures, so you need a second person who is involved who's going to be checking the banking. Now with vouchers, you don't always have to bank the vouchers on a daily basis. It's up to the individual clubs. So you get the options. You'll only bank if you actually select yes, and you notice that that has changed and it's included in the banking. I'm going to say no to that one. I'm going to include short CRT short pays today. Okay. Staff shortages, and again you either could do it on a monthly basis or weekly. Okay, so at the moment we need to bank $9,817, less the vouchers $21.24, and we need to add the previous underbank So now we need to bank $9,863.17. So we don't have to worry about calculating all this up because SafeBUDDY does it all for you. So all we just need to do is to add in the money. Now, as you type this in, this reduces down. So this shows you how much you need to continue banking. All right, and some venues choose not to bank the loose cents. In fact, choose not to bank any coins at all, as SafeBUDDY tracks this on an ongoing basis. What we do now is process. And that's how easy it is to do the daily banking with SafeBUDDY. Previously, what used to be a time-consuming option is no longer the case. Cash and Transit is a very useful tool. Now, these are the individual deposits that were done. Select yes to group them all together, which ones you group, process, and that will include a printout to include in your cash in transit bag taken to the bank. Cash in, cash out is a useful tool to correct any errors that may have occurred. For example, here we're going to correct incorrect banking where Keno was overstated by $100 and it should have been in the TAB. And you can see that they balance each other out, so it makes no difference here as well. All right. Again, vouchers, FPOS, you can add vouchers in their banking, any cash that will marry this out. This is also handy if you do receive, say, some sales outside of your cash registers, and let's say you received $1,250 in merchandise sales, enter it in through here, and you'll see that this will continue down. Okay, and that will mean a net process of 0. Now, who's involved in that one? PDN, process away. Now, you may see all those PDF reports coming up. Now, they will be found in your SafeBUDDY folder, Dropbox folder, in reports, and they're divided up into your banking reports. Okay, so this is what has been printed out in the daily banking. Now notice we actually have the account name and the account number. This section here is actually printed out on a receipt printout as well to be included in with the daily banking bag. Now it's important with the account numbers actually included in there. I've been in a situation where a club where an incorrect deposit slip was used, and it meant that some other club actually was allocated the money instead. Also, all your cash in, cash out is also included in here. If you want to see what actually happened, you can simply click on it. Okay, question is asked, how easy is it to set up SafeBUDDY? Well, it's set up only from about 3 different pages. Here, the administration, pretty self-explanatory. How big is the float, the club name, bank account details, maximum check size, how often you save it. Here we select whether you want to print to print only, PDF, or PDF and print. Okay, so you've got 3 different options there. Now, upgrade, you've seen this already. This is where we set up the printers, and this is when we need to reduce down the file size. Now, accounts, what we've had a look through before. This is where we set up the account details, the job numbers, and your tax codes as well. Just always remember to make sure you select Save Changes. Now, the final setup is through our standard floats. Now, this is set up in a matrix style of form. Okay, with our float names across here. Now, they must be unique. So they cannot be the same as each other. Make sure they are unique. Your standard float, what is normally issued. Make sure your denominations are correct. Your pokey clearance will always be here. You need to sign what you're going to allocate that through to. An example is your payouts. Yes, it's going to be allocated change box 1, change box 2, and EGM tickets as well. You wouldn't allocate the clearances through there. Okay. CRT will allocate EGM tickets. Now, the rest of your banking types, you would include them in here. You type them what you require. What till is going to be allocated to that. All right, and you select yes, and that means that will now come up in the bar. Now, same down with here, the vouchers. You enter in what vouchers you need, and also which tills they are allocated to. Now, include in banking, it means yes. Say if it says yes, that will be to bank daily. Weekly, you need to manually change it to yes before it will be processed in the banking. The weekly and the monthly really is just a reminder of how often you would do it. Parameters, this is where we set up the variance. So when it sounds plus or minus that amount of money, then it will be flagged and comments must be left. Transfers allowed, we don't recommend transfers allowed. It does tend to confuse things a little bit. This is when you need to transfer money between different tills and you need to record that. One of the questions we often get asked about SafeBUDDY is what happens if SafeBUDDY goes wrong? If on the rare occasion that there is an issue with your SafeBUDDY file, the quickest and easiest solution is to run the upgrade procedure, which will copy across the data from the old SafeBUDDY file into a new SafeBUDDY file. This can easily be done by the venue themselves, and there are training videos on how to do that. Another solution is to restore a previous version of SafeBUDDY from the Dropbox facility. This is assuming that Dropbox has been installed as recommended. Another option is the community forum, where peers ask and answer questions. And if all else fails, you can also log a support ticket from our website. All documentation is freely available for download from our website. Our YouTube channel contains a series of free video training, and this list is quite comprehensive. In addition, soon we'll be launching our Quick Tips channel as well.